Get ready, Staten Island. It's time to celebrate 5 years of Ferry Hawks baseball. Join us Friday, April 24th through Sunday, April 26th for our first homestand of the season and our 5th anniversary celebration. Score big with $5 tickets. Grab $5 domestic draft beers. Enjoy $5 popcorn. And yes, 2 Nathan's hot dogs for just $5. Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Anthony D'Esposito was a valued member of Congress, great congressman a couple of years ago. He did not win last time, but he got a huge job for President Trump as the general inspector of President Trump's Labor Department. He's done an amazing job. He's uncovered billions, listen to me, folks, just like Lee Zeldin with the EPA, billions of dollars in fraud. And now the rumor is he's going to stay there. He's not going to run for Congress. We're going to find out from the man himself right now, my dear friend Anthony D'Esposito. Despo, good Monday morning, buddy. How are you?
What's up, brother? I hope you had an amazing birthday. Well-deserved.
Thank you. I did, and I appreciated all your messages on Twitter, on Instagram, and the text, and it was lovely. A nice dinner at Cardulo's last night. We're going to celebrate again next week, too, but it was very, very nice. But I got to get to this right away because people do ask me all the time, any truth to the rumors that you will not run against Gillum this time for Congress, and you're going to stay exactly where you are?
That is the truth, Sid. You know, President Trump nominated me last year to be the Inspector General of the United States Department of Labor. I was confirmed, as you know, late last year, and started the job in the beginning of this year. And I've been honored to been asked to serve on his fraud task force, which is led by Vice President J.D. Vance. We had our first meeting a couple of weeks ago, and just last week, there's been, close to $340 million uncovered in fraud. So it's something that President Trump is committed to, and I think that as the Democrats and those with Trump derangement syndrome continue to attack the administration and attack President Trump, rooting out fraud is something that we as Americans on both sides of the aisle should be rooting for. But I think it tells the story of how much hatred that there is for the administration. I mean, to think about the fact that every year, in government funding, we lose almost $500 billion, if not more, to fraud is absolute insanity. And the fact is that President Trump has made a commitment. It's without a doubt something that's truly important to him. That's why he started this task force. He's even nominated, and recently there was confirmed Colin McDonald, who's going to be a prosecutor, a U.S. attorney, specifically focused on fraud. So, President Trump nominated me last year, and obviously my process took a little bit longer than we all expected. Obviously, all those who were nominated took longer than expected because of the slowdown in the Senate. And I think that at this time, with the timing and what's going on, I think that I need to stick out the job that President Trump asked me to do. And that said, listen, I'm 44 years old, and there's a ton of opportunities ahead, and I will be behind 1,000% in my capacity, my personal capacity, because in case Senator Blumenthal is listening, I don't want him to think that I'm violating any Hatch Act. In my personal capacity, I will be 1,000% behind Janine Driscoll. She is someone who has served this community. She has been an amazing receiver of taxes. She knows the issues, and she is going to go out there and she's going to expose all the lies of Laura Gillum. The fact that she voted against quadrupling the SALT deduction, the fact that she voted against the largest tax cut in American history, the fact that she voted against every appropriations bill, but then ran around the district claiming that she brought funding back to communities. That's stuff that Janine Driscoll, when she says she's going to do something, she means it and she does it, and her word is real. And I think that she has a very good chance, and I know that Chairman Cairo is going to be working extremely hard with everyone else, our town races, our county races, and of course to make sure that Bruce Blakeman is our next governor. we're going to make sure that Janine Driscoll is the next member of Congress from the 4th Congressional District and send Laura Gillen to the unemployment line.
I'd love to see that. Janine Driscoll, that's our choice. One more on this quickly, then we'll get to your job. We all remember when Elise Stefanik was nominated to be the UN ambassador, and Trump went to her and said, look, we got a razor-thin edge in the House. I need you to go back there. And she did. And a lot of people think that the reason why she backed out of the race against our friend Bruce was because she was expecting President Trump to endorse her, promised her that he would, and he wouldn't do that to Bruce. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that seems to be the story most people believe. Either way, President Trump did ask her to go back to Congress. Was this decision made by you, or did President Trump actually get involved in this decision?
This was a decision that was made really in the best interest of what I'm doing now. I think I take notice of the fact when you're asked to serve on a task force that's led by the vice president, that is a good indicator that the work that you're doing is extremely important to the administration.
Is that work, though, and it is important, again, you, Lee Zeldin, J.D., all you guys uncovering billions of dollars, but is that work, Anthony, in the long run more important than winning the majority in Congress?
Well, I think that there's opportunities throughout the nation to make sure that we hold and win the majority. I mean, the Republicans, led by our Speaker in the House, Mike Johnson, just announced this morning or late last night, they actually had their biggest fundraising quarter in the history of the NRCC. So I think that the opportunities are there. And I think the work that we're doing is not just specific to blue states or red states. We're rooting out fraud everywhere we can find it. But there is no question, just from the news that we've read and obviously what we've already uncovered. You look what's going on in places like California. There's 1,800 hospices just in Los Angeles. 280 of those licenses have already been revoked in the last month because they're completely fraudulent. And you look at the survival rates in some of these hospices in California, and the survival rate is through the roof. We both know that you go to a hospice, you don't go there to live. You usually go there to die. So they're complete scams. And my point is that obviously the work and this rooting out of fraud is not just important to the American people because we want to make America more affordable, and fraud is a tax on every American throughout this nation. But I think it's also important to focus on the work, and I speak to him regularly, guys like Nick Shirley, who have been in cities throughout this nation, with a cell phone camera and a microphone exposing billions of dollars in fraud.
Right. For folks that don't know, he's the guy that actually broke the whole Minnesota case. That's Nick Shirley. And then soon after we heard about Minnesota, President Trump said, hey, I'm not giving New York all this money. Dr. Oz was in the studio talking about fraud here, even with Medicare. And then you mentioned California. We've heard other states like Colorado, Illinois. So when Nick Shirley kind of blew the roof off of Minnesota, the conventional wisdom was that's only the beginning, and you're here, Anthony D'Esposito, to confirm that, yes?
Yeah, and look at this. Some of the leaders of these complete fraud scams are individuals who could potentially want to lead this nation. It's absolutely insane to think you could run California into the ground, but yet you want to run for president of the United States. So I think that there's, the work exposing this fraud, again, whether it's from a blue state or a red state, is critically important. And I think what's even more important, and one of the focuses, from the task force, is to hold those accountable who are taking advantage of the American people. You think about a lot of this money that goes to fraud, whether it's, unemployment insurance, whether it's pandemic, or whether it's, money that's distributed now. It's money that's supposed to go to the most vulnerable population, the sick, our seniors, those with special needs, those who are in a really bad spot. And yet we have people, both from other countries and part of organized crime that are just taking all the money and completely scamming it. And I think the fact that it took all of these years to have a president who, when he says he puts America first, this is putting America first, and it's putting Americans first. And it's about rooting out that fraud and finding that money so that we could put it back into the hands of the American people. And I think that there's work to be done there. There's a story to be told. And I think that this work will, without a doubt, help the narrative moving forward.